Hello and welcome to Hellraiser Blog. If you enjoyed today's Hellraiser Blog, please hit the subscribe button. We love growing the Hellraiser Boxing YouTube family. Just a quick one today. I've seen that Dillion Whyte has come in like miles over the weight I expected him to come in at. I can only assume it's a tactical thing, that's intentional, that he's come in that heavy. Maybe he's hoping to smother Rivas or walk him down. I actually would have liked him to come in light, because I think the speed of Rivas is going to be a problem for Whyte. Although Rivas looks very effective, to me he doesn't look like a great mover, and I thought maybe if Dillion was lighter on his feet, he could use that to his advantage to move inside and outside, mix up the range and the positioning. Being that much heavier, I think the second half of the fight, it all but takes out the movement side of things. And even if Whyte tries to move fast, he will tire very quickly, which will then result in him actually moving slower. For me, it's a worry. It's a worry. I mean, I wasn't going to bet on Whyte anyway. It's just a fight I'd have enjoyed watching, but I mean, I'd be even less likely to now. He needs to use that size to walk Rivas down. For me, it's a gamble that he didn't necessarily need to take, but now he's taken. Because if he struggles with the movement of Rivas, and Rivas is an Olympic level amateur, so you'd imagine he will be able to move quite economically with his energy, change position, push Whyte back for as long as he can, and then when Whyte tries to walk him down, move off at angles. I think it's a big gamble to take. I think it's a big gamble to take, and I hope for Dillian's. Dillian obviously started on boxing on my shows, the Hellraiser shows, and I'd like to see him go as far as possible. The fight wasn't exactly forced on him. I mean, this is just a very tough fight that he opted for. You've got to credit him for that. But I think it's very likely that quick view of my knees. I think it's very likely that he's going to be drawn into a fight that he probably didn't want, and I think it could take away from some of the spectacularness of it. Because if he was a little bit warmer, and he was a little bit lighter and able to jiggle around and tease Rivas a little bit, use that movement to frustrate him, I think it then makes it easier to land those big shots. Now it is possible that it could be quite a one-dimensional sort of process, which will involve grinding down the ring space, cutting off the ring, and trapping Rivas, which is something that Rivas, we've never seen him really put in that kind of a situation before. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he won't be able to cope with it. I mean, he's boxing in the Olympics. If you think Wilder has boxed two former Olympians that I can think of. Anthony Joshua, who he gave Joshua problems, no doubt about that. I was at that fight at the O2. He definitely gave Joshua problems, but Joshua ended up knocking him out. And Joseph Parker, yeah, he nicked a lot of rounds early on, but when it got down to the nitty-gritty, Parker was actually walking Whyte down and hurt Whyte and dropped him, and literally was very unlucky not to. Well, he wasn't. I can't say Parker was unlucky, because Parker chose his tactics, and if Parker had really gone for it early, he would have won the fight. It would have been a completely different ball game for him. It's all very well saying, "Oh, I nearly beat Dillian Whyte. Give me another chance." I don't think people are queuing up to watch Parker give Parker another chance now. He had the opportunity. He could have rolled the dice. He didn't. He sort of half rolled it once it was too late. And then you've got Whyte, who end up walking away with his hand held up. So will Whyte be able to put pressure on Rivas in a way that he wasn't able to put it on Parker? I really not sure, and I think also that Rivas is probably a better inside close range fighter than what Parker is. So to me, this takes a fight that should have been quite straightforward for Whyte tactically. Now he's going to have to take a lot of risks. Well, he's not going to have to take risks, but if he doesn't, he could really get into a very sticky situation here, because you're fighting a guy who's a known puncher, he's strong, who will try and do to Whyte what I think Whyte is now going to do to him, to walk him down, keep him working all the time, and so every time that he stops working, try and engage with him to start him up again. And that for me, it really does, pardon me, I'm out in the south coast of France at the moment, recuperating after a hard year's work. So for me, I'm uncomfortable with it. I certainly won't be betting on Whyte. I wasn't going to bet on him anyway, but I certainly won't now. I think it really opens the door to make the show maybe more exciting, make the viewing more enjoyable. But from Whyte's side, I don't really think that's going to be his top priority. I think his top priority surely has to be to keep winning, so that he can get closer to a mandatory shot. I mean, he's been mandatory for 2.5 years now. I know that sometimes he's chosen other paths. He was offered the AJ fight, he chose not to take it. I think that's counted against him, so you can't just say, oh, you know, he's been cheated out of a mandatory spot. I mean, that's not true. He had opportunities to move up and he didn't take them. But now we've got a situation where he's forced to take a risk, and is he going to get the plaudits? Is he going to get the ranking, the rate, like the any closer to the mandatory for beating Rivas? Well, it certainly doesn't push him any further away, but I wouldn't say you beat Rivas, therefore you're going to become a mandatory. And this is a risk. The thing is, I think too many people are discounting the risk element here, thinking, you know, this is a fight that Whyte should win. And for me, if he was lighter, I would be a lot more comfortable with it. I would say, well, do you know what? Whyte is proven to move pretty well. Against Parker, he really struggled with movement in the second half of the fight, which is why I expected him to come in a lot lighter than what he has. Does increase a little bit the weight of your punches, but a lot of the speed, and for me it's speed that causes concussive punching, not weight particularly. Yeah, if you've got leverage and can get more velocity behind your shots, fantastic, but I think here Whyte is going to lose a lot of that through the extra weight, especially in the second half of the fight, should Rivas get through the first 3 or 4 rounds without getting lent on and worn down himself. And if Rivas is still quick, and we know that he can be quick, this is the worry, right? You're fighting someone who probably their main advantage over you is their speed of movement. This isn't, I mean, normally if you're fighting someone like that, your tactic is to get inside and smother them and hold them and weigh them down. But Whyte doesn't need, he's 6'4", he doesn't need to come inside and fight at close range in a fight against someone like Rivas. Here now, he's been forced into a situation where he probably will have to do that. And that opens up a whole new load of problems, I think, for Dillion Whyte, because he's going to have to gamble now. He's going to have to stand in front of him and not just smother him, and because I think Rivas will start out working him inside, and Rivas is slippery. He knows how to use lots of these aspects to his own advantage. We'll see. Listen guys, enjoy the fight. If you enjoyed watching the blog, please hit the subscribe button. As always, we love growing the Hellraiser blog, growing the Hellraiser Boxing YouTube family, and I will be back on within the next 7 days with another blog. Cheers for watching guys, thank you, bye bye.